I'm Reed Cowan. You've been watching a CBS News Network special report about the ongoing barrage of missiles fired from Iran into Israel and all of the fallout that comes from that. Right now, we have the opportunity to talk to CBS News Robert Berger. He is live now from Jerusalem, and we understand a lot of people are still in a shelter and wait-see situation there. What can you tell us what's going on right now where you are?
Well, we just got the all clear from the. Sorry, I'm getting a little feedback. We just got the all clear from the Israeli military. So it looks like this attack, at least for now, is over. Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay.
So you're saying that it looks like an all clear for now. That's
Right.
what our correspondent Elizabeth Palmer seemed to signal as well. Take us
Right.
back in time, if you will, and let us know the first alert that you had that this was coming, what you did, and what so many people heard on the media there and how they responded.
Yeah, so first we heard from U.S. sources that an attack from Iran was imminent. And then I would say, well, about 45 minutes ago or so, we heard sirens. And then I went outside here in Jerusalem, and it looked like orange shooting stars were falling all over the place. I heard some booms. Those orange shooting stars, if you will, were apparently shrapnel from missiles that had been shot down. And then that came in two waves. There was sort of a break, and then there was a second wave. And what we're hearing is that nearly all of the missiles were intercepted, that some shrapnel did fall, but no one was seriously injured in this assault.
And of course, the big question now, as we await the sunrise on the other side of the globe where you are, what happens next? Will there be more attacks from Iran into Israel? And of course, what will Israeli response be, especially knowing that Israel continues to have the backing of U.S. military support? I'm understanding tens of thousands of U.S. troops are amassed there in the region. What response do you anticipate in the coming hours?
It looks like, according even from Iranian sources, that this attack may be over for now. But as you say, the big question is, what is Israel going to do? How is it going to respond? Just yesterday and last week at the UN, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned Iran that if they attacked Israel, Israel would attack Iran. Now, this happened also in mid-April, and Israel's response under U.S. pressure was very muted. All it did was hit a couple of anti-aircraft batteries next to an Iranian nuclear facility. But the question is, what will Israel do this time? Will it escalate the situation with some kind of attack from Israel inside Iran? We have to wait and see.
So let's contrast that mid-April situation that you talked about when Iran fired those drones into Israel, always intercepted. The Iron Dome got it. However, we're understanding from our partners at the BBC that this was different, that the missiles sent were much faster and that there was some difference between now and April.
Yeah, in April, they fired 300 drones, cruise missiles, and also some ballistic missiles. Now, the drones and cruise missiles take a longer time to get here, so Israel was well prepared for that. These ballistic missiles that were apparently fired today, and according to Israeli television, about 150 were fired. They get here a lot faster. It only takes about 12 minutes, and they also carry hundreds of pounds of warheads. So this is really a major attack and escalation by Iran. And I think Israel, last time they were pressured by the U.S. not to respond, but the U.S. has said clearly this time that there would be severe consequences for this attack.
The world awaits to see what those severe consequences will be. Robert, please be safe. Thank you so much for streaming with us today.
Right, thank you.
We also have an opportunity to get to CBS News foreign correspondent Chris Livesay. He is live from Tel Aviv. Chris, we understand that the all clear has been given, at least for now. Take us back in time to what you experienced and then forward to right now.
Yeah, well, the all clear may have been given, but actually just in the last few minutes, we were given another warning on our phone. In fact, it was at that time when people started to come back inside of this car as we speak. But this is where we've been for the past 30 minutes up until that point. It was a typical Tel Aviv Tuesday. Everybody was having dinner until all of a sudden we heard those sirens wailing. And, Israelis are usually pretty sanguine about these types of alerts. They're not that uncommon, but this was a big one. And there was a virtual human stampede. Nobody got hurt, but it was just a dash for the nearest bomb shelter. And there are many, many of them littered around Tel Aviv. And we just got into the nearest one with dozens of other people, with their dogs, with their children, many of them having dinner. I mean, they kind of, life goes on as normal. But this is the kind of thing that we've been bracing for really for almost 2 weeks at this point, and we started seeing those pagers and beepers exploding in Lebanon, those that belong to the Hezbollah members. And then we saw the head of their military get killed in those targeted strikes. And then finally, the head of the organization itself, Hassan Nasrallah, was assassinated just on Friday. And so everybody's been bracing for something like this. In the meantime, we knew that there were thousands and thousands of missiles at least trained in the direction of Israel, and people were expecting to see something big coming from the direction of Hezbollah and Lebanon. Instead, we've only seen a few hundred rockets here, a few hundred rockets there. Many had suspected that it was because their launchers had already been taken out by Israel. But then the question was, well, why isn't Iran doing anything about it? And it appears like they answered that question tonight.
Chris, we understand President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are in the Situation Room, and they are very much staying on top of this. In fact, they ordered some defense to help defend Israel and get some of those missiles out of the air. Looks like successfully at this hour, some shrapnel hitting the ground. But you are with the people every day. And we know that there's going to be a military response. The warning is that it would be a severe military response. But what about the response on the ground from the people where you live and where you work, the people of Israel? How are they feeling about this and the escalation?
The people of Israel have been rather downtrodden ever since October 7, when Hamas carried out that horrible massacre and the kidnappings, and not to mention the subsequent invasion of Gaza. It's seen an immense loss of life on the part of the Palestinians, and that's not something that the people of Israel celebrate. And so it's been a hard 11 plus months for them. But for the first time, ever since Israel has had win after win after win against Hezbollah, the much more formidable enemy, this is the enemy that Israel has been preparing to fight for years and years. In fact, it just goes to show you how well things have been going for Israel in Lebanon in the past few days compared to how poorly they were going in Gaza. It showed you that they were completely caught off guard when it came to Hamas back on October 7th. But they've been ready for this in Lebanon. And so they're finally seeing, the Israelis are finally seeing their military do what they're supposed to do. Netanyahu said it last week, enough is enough. They're tired of watching Hezbollah fire upon northern Israel for more than 11 months. There are around 70,000 Israelis who have been forced to flee their homes because not only are they afraid of rocket attacks, of which they've been virtually every day, but they're also afraid of another October 7-like event. In fact, Israel says that they've captured plans from some of their recent cross-border incursions into Lebanon, into Hezbollah territory, plans for another October 7-like event. So Israel says that Hezbollah was planning to carry out something like October 7th here again, all of this time later. So even though Israelis have lots of mixed feelings about this government, the direction of the war, the last 12 days have been different. They've finally gotten the wind in their sails, and they've finally been able to restore deterrence in the region, something that had completely vanished.
Well, and as we come up on that terrible October anniversary, we are also mindful that while all of this plays out, hostages are still being held by Hamas right now. Chris Livesay in front of a shelter right there. We're grateful for your report. Please stay safe. Our best thoughts with you and the people you are with today. Okay, CBS News intelligence and national security reporter Olivia Gazis joins us live right now from the U.S. Department of State. Olivia, we understand President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris are watching this closely. Any indication what they mean by if Iran fires, and we now know they have, there will be severe consequences. What could they be?
Sure, and that was a step beyond what we heard the last time in April when there was that direct attack from Iran on Israeli interests. The U.S. sending a very strong message of deterrence, telling the Iranians to keep this response measured. As Chris was saying, there had been widespread expectations that the Iranians had to do something just because of all of the escalatory steps that the Israeli military had been taking for weeks and months, taking out a top military commander in Beirut, assassinating Ismail Haniyeh, a top Hamas commander in Tehran in July. Of course, those spectacular pager operations that affected hundreds of Hezbollah fighters, as well as Iran's ambassador to Lebanon earlier this month, culminating with this huge strike on Hassan Nasrallah, Iran's sort of most potent leader in the region, the head of Hezbollah. And that was a very clear turning point that likely affected Iran's calculus. Up until now, the U.S. and Israeli officials had been saying they had been able to forestall a retaliatory strike from Iran with a combination of deterrence and diplomacy. That means not only the U.S. posture in the region, but the diplomatic effort, sending messages to the Iranians, incentivizing them by saying a Gaza ceasefire was on the table and could see a breakthrough. Obviously, that carrot has much diminished, no longer really of appeal to the Iranians, which may have affected their calculus after the strike of last week to take this step. We have gotten a statement from the Iranian mission to the UN here in New York, a CBS colleague relaying that they have said their legal, rational, and legitimate response has been duly carried out. Should Israel retaliate, they warn a subsequent and crushing response. As you've been reviewing, the questions now remain: is this the extent of the response? Has it affected any U.S. interests in the region? Are there more waves of proxy attacks that are still in the offing? And have any of them been successful? Have there been any casualties?